Now, I know that these further restrictions are difficult, but they are unfortunately necessary because we have to absolutely minimise social interaction to try to get this virus back under control. And these measures came into force first thing this morning under the emergency procedure and will remain in force subject to this House approval today. Yes, of course.
I've just been talking to my right honourable friend from North Somerset, a doctor. He showed me the ridiculous form he's had to fill in to make this simple jab. You know, diversity, quality training. When he's inoculating an old lady, he's not going to ask her if she's come into contact with jihadists or whatever. So the Secretary says he's got to cut through all this bureaucratic rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm a man after my right honourable friend's heart. And I can tell the House that we have removed a series of the unnecessary training modules that have been put in place, including fire safety, terrorism, and others. And I'll write him with the full panoply of the training that is not required, and we have been able to remove, and we made this change as of this morning, and I'm glad to say it's enforced. Now, I'm a fan of busting bureaucracy, and in this case, I agree with him that it is not necessary to undertake anti-terrorism training in order to inject vaccines. Yeah.
I noticed also a story about not delivering vaccines on Sunday, which, as I understand it, they think there will be sufficient vaccines for them to do 7-day inoculation. If somebody runs short, they will get topped up, which is a little different from what the Telegraph said today.
He's quite right. The supply of vaccines can take place on all 7 days of the week, but in a regular way, we do it on 6 days of the week. And then on the 7th day, people can either rest or deliver further vaccine if that's what's necessary. And as a result of this, there has been no point at which somebody in any area has been short of vaccine because of this delivery schedule. We have a challenge, which is we need to increase the amount of vaccine available. And the current rate-limiting factor on the vaccine rollout is the supply of approved, tested, safe vaccine. And we are working with both AstraZeneca and Pfizer to increase that supply as fast as possible, and they're doing a brilliant job. But that is the current rate-limiting step. Now, as that supply increases, Madam Deputy Speaker, we are going to need more people to vaccinate. We're going to need to get the pharmacists involved in vaccination. I very much hope to get my honourable friend, a former doctor, involved in vaccination, and others. We will need more people. But the current rate-limiting factor is the supply of vaccine. That isn't to say that the companies aren't supplying on the schedule that is agreed. They are, and they are doing their bit. But we do need to increase that supply, and then the NHS will increase its delivery. And I hope to make absolutely crystal clear that point, because the PHE work to get the vaccine out, that is not a rate-limiting step. The current discussions we're having with the pharmacists, that is not a rate-limiting factor. What is the rate-limiting factor is and the fill and finish isn't a rate-limiting factor. What's a rate-limiting factor is the amount of the actual juice available, the actual vaccine, which is not manufactured like a chemical. It is effectively it is a biological product. It's a bit like if you bake your own bread, Madam Deputy Speaker. I don't know if you do, but I sometimes do. And it is a bit like the creation of and growth of yeast. That's probably, it's probably the best way to think of it. It is a complicated and difficult task, and it is, and that is the rate-limiting factor. And I pay tribute to those who are engaged in the manufacturing process of this critical product. Yes, of course.